What's up guys, my name's Andrew and I am a craft beer tour guide here on Australia's Gold Coast. On this channel I make videos about craft beer, I do reviews, I do some beginner home brewing videos, and I do some other beer related stuff just like this video. Today I'm going to be teaching you how to taste a beer. So there's actually more to tasting a beer than just cracking open a can or taking the cap off the top of a bottle and getting stuck into the beer. There's actually a lot more to it. A beer is a fermented product, much like a wine. So it's recommended that you treat it almost just like a wine. So the first key element that you need when you're tasting a beer, whether it's at home or if you're at a bar or a brewery, is some good glassware, good quality beer drinking glassware. Now, you know, you could drink a beer out of any old glass. It doesn't really matter, but the glasses are specially made to enhance the flavor and aroma profile of the beer and enhance your beer drinking experience. So it would be much like drinking a nice wine out of a plastic cup. You just wouldn't do it. You'd serve it to someone in a nice wine glass. So what I'm going to be drinking out of today is by a company, I'm not actually sure how to pronounce it properly. Spiegelau, I believe, is the name of the company, and they make pretty much the best beer drinking glasses, you know, that are readily available to people like us. I'm actually going to put a link in the description down below if you guys want to grab a Spiegelau beer tasting kit, and that way, you know, you can taste the beers properly at home. When you've got friends around, it's just a nice touch to be able to serve beers up to them in a nice glass. So beer glass is the first step. The second step that goes along with a nice beer drinking glass when you're tasting a beer is to make sure that the beer glass is cleaned properly. So there's actually a product called Braction, I believe it is a potassium based cleaning agent, and it is used in all bars, clubs to clean glassware. So what it does is it removes any oils or anything like that, and any grease and fat. And also when you use a normal soap-based detergent, it can leave residue on the glass, which is that's when you'll see bubbles sticking to the side of the glass in big clumps. That's the sign of a dirty glass, and we don't want that. So get yourself some proper beer cleaning agent and make sure you keep your beer glasses clean. The second important step is to get your beer, or third step I should say, and pour it into the glass. So it doesn't matter if you're drinking out of a can or a bottle, it's ideal that you pour it into a glass. And you will get the hang of pouring a beer into a glass in terms of the beer's carbonation and that sort of thing. You'll get used to pouring it into a glass properly. All right, so we've got the beer in our glass. The first thing that you want to do when you're tasting a beer is look at the beer and get a feel for what kind of beer it is that you're going to be drinking. So typically your lagers, pale ales, IPAs, things like that will generally have an amber appearance. I can see that this is an IPA, I think. Yeah, this is the South Coast IPA by Black Ops. And I can see that it's got a nice sort of deep amber color to it. It's a little bit see-through, it's not hazy. So there we go, we've assessed the appearance of the beer. Now it's time for one of the most important parts before we put it in the mouth, and that is the aroma. So we want to give the beer a little bit of a swirl there. And what we're going to do is we're going to do what's called a pass. So you just basically, just like you would with a wine, getting both nostrils getting a bit of a whiff. So if you just stuck your nose in the beer, had a quick sniff and then had a drink, sure you'd be able to smell it, but you want to try and get all of those receptors in your nose and throughout your whole olfactory system to open up. And basically it's right beside your brain, so it's going straight to your brain, and your brain's processing what it is that you're about to drink. So have a quick pass, and I can smell from this beer that I'm getting some tropical notes from it. So we do the pass, and then what you can also do if you've got enough room in the beer is you can put your hand on top of the glass and give it a shake, and then move your hand out of the way, and you get a real pungent hit of whatever it is that you're drinking. And then once you've had a bit of a sniff, try and identify the different flavors, whether it smells like a really malty beer or a really hoppy beer, all of the different combinations of the yeast, the hops, and the grains can impart a whole wide range of different flavors and aromas. So you want to try and have a little bit of try and pick what it is that you're drinking. So if you're drinking a beer now, pick it up and get both nostrils in there, have a smell, try and find some form of familiarity. A lot of beers, like an IPA, for example, a lot of them will have a floral or a citrus or a tropical fruit kind of smell to it, and then you can sort of start to dive a little bit deeper. You can be like, okay, so I'm getting a little bit of maybe, dried apricot or grapefruit, and then you're giving yourself a chance to properly identify the taste when it actually hits your mouth. So what you want to do is just it doesn't have to be a big gulp, just a sip, put it in your mouth, let it sit on your tongue for a second, let it swallow it. And then the most important part is after you've swallowed it, breathe out of your nose, and you'll be able, trust me, it's mind blowing. So if you just drank a beer like you normally would, have a taste, and then do the old, you're not actually getting the full flavor and aroma experience paired together. So take a sip of the beer, let it sit in the mouth for a second, swallow it, and then breathe out through your nose. And it's crazy. It just gives you the whole olfactory system all working together. You've got the mixture of the flavor on the tongue, the nose, the sensation going down into your stomach. It's an all-around sensory experience, and it really does pay to take the time to try and develop your palate in terms of the aromas and the taste, and you basically will never taste a beer the same again. So just give it another quick pass. Both nostrils in there. Quick sip. Swallowed it and then breathed out through my nose. And then, if you're drinking by yourself, you might have an app like Untapped where you can enter in the tasting notes. A fun thing to do is to have some friends around. Everyone bring a whole bunch of different beers, sit down and do a tasting, and you'll be surprised. One person will say, oh, this beer, that's definitely passion fruit. And the person beside them might say, oh, no, I'm not getting any passion fruit, but there's a bunch of lime zest in there. And then you might think to yourself, oh, hang on a sec, you have another sip. Oh yeah, I'm getting the lime zest. And then from there, your palate will start to develop. All right, there you go, guys. That's it. A really quick introduction to tasting beers. When things are back to normal, I encourage you to get down to your local brewery or brew pub and ask for a tasting paddle. That way you'll get a tasting paddle, depending on where you are. And that will give you at least 4, sometimes up to 8 different little tasters of beers where you can do the whole aroma identification and taste profile on a whole bunch of different styles of beers. It's a really cool way to experience beer in a venue. All right, there we go, guys. That's it for the video. That's how you taste a beer. If you enjoyed the video, I'd love for you to hit the like button. If you've learned something, I would love for you to consider subscribing and join me for some more beer experience videos, some more craft beer reviews, some more homebrewing videos, and learning more about the beer venues here on the Gold Coast. Really enjoyed your company. I'll see you guys in the next video. Thank you.